What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. We've got a cheeky little Sunday video for you today. I've just finished my 5 hours at Aldi, hence the change into the Arsenal top ahead of the Community Shield later on this afternoon. But I'm just going to show you in today's video effectively how to make fat loss super easy, right? Because it's often a concept that is complicated by many. And I'm about to go back into Aldi to do my food shop, so it's pretty good timing for this video. And basically what I do typically to make my life a whole lot easier when it comes to dropping body fat and getting in shape. So we'll go, not waste any more time. I'm going to go and do my food shop. I'm going to show you what I get, what I eat, how I sort of plan my following week. So how I get ahead of the following week to make life so much easier. Because I know for a lot of people, you become overwhelmed with when you get your workouts in, when you're doing your meal prep, if you're doing meal prep, what you're having for your meals, etc. And realistically, you can just make it so much easier for yourself, and I'm going to show you why. So because I have the same meals over and over again, practically every single day, it makes the food shop a whole lot easier and a whole lot quicker, because I know where to go, what I'm looking for, and how much I need. So I'm going to go and do that now, and then I'm going to show you what it is that I get. And then basically what I'm going to do to get myself ready for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday next week. So yeah, let's not waste any more time. Let's go and get it.
So Bruno Guimaraes is the prize acquisition for Mikel Arteta and Arsenal 7. A key player for the Gunners in the defence of the Premier League title.
Come on, you Gunners. That'll do. 20 odd seconds. Come on. So a lovely little comprehensive win for the Arsenal. Another major trophy in the bag. Yeah, that's right. Major trophy. Come at me. So pretty good Sunday all round so far. 5 hours at Aldi. Arsenal have won and beat City. It's made me rip up my fantasy team, which I might show you at the end what I've done in terms of transfers. But yeah, my food shop, I was in and out probably about 15-20 minutes. And as I said earlier in the video, when it comes to having the same meals over and over again, it just makes your food shop a whole lot easier, a whole lot quicker, and it can make it a whole lot cheaper as well. Because what you end up doing is, yes, you might have a bit of a bigger cost to begin with in terms of buying more of the product that you're eating, i.e. a bigger pack of chicken or, you know, multi-packs of something. But actually per item and per meal, it works out a whole lot cheaper. So for me, because I have the same meals at the same time as practically every single day, and maybe might change them up every now and again depending on higher days or dropping calories, etc, etc. I know what I need to go and buy when I go into the supermarket. Now, my food shop earlier on probably cost me around £43, I think, or something like around there. I'll put the exact total to the video, and that's not including everything that I would typically eat during the week anyway. So some foods I've already got, so i.e. potatoes I'm going to have tonight, for example, as part of my chips, my burger and chips meal on a rest day. Packets of rice, oats that I've already got that I'm not currently eating because they're not featuring as part of my meals. Same with things like jam and honey, etc., which, although are not expensive anyway, they're not expensive items, they are additional costs that I would obviously be incurring as part of a food shop. But again, per meal, if you were to have them, would work out really, really cheap, right? So for example, a pack of porridge oats from Aldi, I can probably get for like, I don't know, 80p for a massive bag, right? And so per serving, it's going to work out really, really cheap. So as you'll see from my food shop, I picked up my bagel thins, which I have for meal 1 in the morning, bacon medallions. I have my tomato mushrooms that feature in a couple of my meals as well. Multi-pack or multi-bags of salad and lettuce because they feature frequently. where my carbs have lowered, but I have the high volume foods, and obviously look for that fibre to help with bowel movement due to a drop in calories. Pack of chicken, so a kilo pack of chicken, I have 250 grams uncooked weight for a meal every single day. So that's practically 4 meals in a kilo. I could get obviously a 2 kilo pack, but I'm always conscious about dates and meats like that going off and things like that. Chicken mince, which again is featuring as part of my second to last meal practically every day. And then my fruit, my berries that I'm having as part of my cream of rice, which again, cream of rice is something that I would pay out for at the start of the month, which again can be like £15-16 for a big bag. But again, when you divide that per serving and how often I have it, it's actually not that expensive at all. So I think for me, in terms of like how I've been sort of calculating my food bill per month, etc., I think it can range anywhere between £250 and £300. Some of the foods I have are a bit more expensive, so things like egg whites, for example, that I can't get from Aldi and have to get elsewhere from Tesco, Asda, etc., are around sort of like £2.80, £3 a carton, so they're quite an expensive item. But again, the way that I look at it is that one, bodybuilding is a bit of an expensive sport, but also two, spending a couple of pounds on something that is going to be, you know, make me healthy, is going to go towards my goals. It's a worthy investment, right? Because yes, compare that to, I don't know, a 48 pack of crisps is a lot more, you know, cheaper than crisps, but actually processed foods like that, if they were to be consumed, are going to cost you more in your health in the long run. So yeah, that's practically about my food shop. So I'd probably say in around a week, we're probably looking anywhere between, you know, 45 to maybe £60 a week in terms of a food shop, and that is just obviously for me. You could make it cheaper by having more frozen fruit, frozen veg, freezing meat, etc., to preserve the life of it. I just typically, because I have it and it's just me and I don't really pay for anything else, will obviously have things fresh, because again, things like my coffee and stuff like that, where I'm still living at home, is stuff that I'm not really paying out for, because I'm just having what my mum or stepdad would buy in that regard. But you know, about 95% of the foods I eat do come in my food shop. So that's, you know, the sort of stuff that I pick up. Again, I save myself time doing a lengthy food shop because I know what I'm having. And if my meals were to change, again, it's not going to affect the cost too much, because you can get pretty healthy foods for quite cheap. And if you shop at places like Aldi and Lidl, they are pretty cheap anyway. So that's how I do it. And again, if you have the same meals over and over again, you can always just work out the cost per meal. I think a lot of times people will often think that eating healthy is more expensive than eating, you know, food that's got a longer life. But one, I go back to what it's going to cost you in your health in the long run. But also two, there are smarter ways of making it cheaper as well. Again, things I've forgot to include would be like my Dark Thunder, which again is like 89p. But if people are having a can of Monster, for example, they might be paying double that. And I'm having the Aldi equivalent, which is saving me half the price. So again, it's just about how sensible you are with your foods. Again, when you look at your bills, I guess in the week, you know, if we're looking at takeaway options, going out drinking on the weekends, you probably spend more money on things that are not serving you a purpose when it comes to your physique. And although some people don't like listening to that because it's, you know, a takeaway or going out for beers or going to the pub is that social element and enjoying life and enjoying time with friends, I still enjoy my life in terms of bodybuilding and getting myself in great shape. I just look at, for me, what's the most important and what I prioritise the most. And if your body and how you look and how you feel within your clothes and how you feel on holiday, etc., is more of a priority, then I think making those cutbacks within your expenses, particularly when, you know, times are a lot more expensive nowadays, is going to be what you're going to need to do in order to make that happen. So yeah, that's essentially how I work around my food. When it comes to my weekly plan as well, because obviously I work, previously worked 3 jobs, but now work 2 jobs. I had a bit of an investment in terms of this weekly plan board, which I'm going to show you now. This weekly plan board I actually bought from Aldi, which is always handy when you work in a place that has some pretty good buys. And what I've started doing now is just putting my things in that need doing basically Monday through Sunday with the to-do list. So my to-do list come off the back of Friday, when I was doing my check-ins, and we'll just obviously mark off those that I've done the check-ins for. And Monday through to Friday, obviously I've got my shifts at Aldi in there, what time I'm going to the gym and stuff that I need to do as well. And it just helps me to be a lot more productive, a lot more efficient. And if I need to do things like meal prep, or I need to do things like have meals at certain times because I'm going out, or my day-to-day is changed somewhat, whether I'm being social, I've got things on, it helps me to just sort of be productive and plan around those times effectively. So I'm not then sacrificing anything. I'm not having less of an enjoyable time. Let's prop you. There we go. My goals are not being hindered in any way. I'm just adjusting my day. And what I'll be doing tonight, because obviously it's Sunday, is just mapping out again next week. So looking at what I've got on my shifts at Aldi, which are the same every day. So a lot of it will still be similar, but anything that I've got to do or is important and needs doing, I can then sort of plan around that. And then what I will do off the back of that again is if I need to meal prep, which I'll do some tonight, whilst my dinner is cooking, I will just air fry my chicken for the week. But anything similar to that I will put in and make sure that it gets done at certain times. And again, it just means that I've got less to think about, less to worry about. I become less overwhelmed, less stressed. Things become a bit robotic and maybe monotonous even in some regards. But when you have less things to think about, less things to worry about, your life will become a whole lot easier. So for me then, off the back of that, I can then just stress and worry about my shifts at Aldi. I can just stress and worry about, I don't know, sorting out my finances for the month, or whatever other priorities it might be. For you, it might be looking after the kids. But things like your food, my gym sessions, getting my steps in, if I've got cardio to do, etc., etc. Those things are not going to, be playing on my mind or be something I've got to worry about, because I've already mapped it out. I already know when it's being done, and then it's just a case of just making sure that you get that stuff done, and holding yourself accountable to following through with that. And I think it's a really, really important aspect of my days and my weeks. And since I've invested in that for a couple of pounds for whatever it cost, it's been a pretty good buy in my opinion.
That's really close. I like it. It's nice. And how much do you say that is?